OffStage. I'm your host, Jake, with my partner, Caleb. OffStage is a production off SideStage, our management company. We are the team artists wish they had before they ever get signed. Today, we're here with our dear friend and artist, Keller. Keller, how are you doing? How has your summer been? Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
I'm doing great. It's really awesome being back in Nashville for the weekend, celebrating your birthday. It's been
Happy
awesome.
belated birthday, Jake.
Yeah. Well, 2 days ago, it was a big celebration. And it's been awesome seeing all you guys. It's been a busy summer. I've been working a lot, just trying to save up money coming back to Nashville for the fall because as everybody who's listening or from Nashville probably knows, this is not a cheap town.
Not at all.
And
it's terrible.
yeah, no, it's been awesome. But as the summer goes on, I'm just looking more and more forward to being back in Nashville, making stuff happen with you guys.
Keller, what have you been up to in St. Louis?
I've been working. I work 2 to 3 jobs between. I work out as a soccer coach at the club that I played at whenever I was younger, just coaching anywhere from 5-year-olds all the way up to like the youth levels around 13 years old. And I also work as a bar back at a bar in South City. It's a soccer bar, and I kind of just like take out trash, do a lot of the grunt work.
for the people watching our video right now, you can tell that Keller's a soccer fan. I personally hate soccer. I'm not a fan of it. For those of you who want to click off because of that, please do. But if I had to root for a team, it's Man City.
Don't click off. We need
Screw Chelsea.
Terrible.
We don't like
That's
Chelsea.
terrible. Oh, that's a terrible comment.
So you bar back and you do a little bit of soccer coaching. Anything else?
Yeah, and I've also been working at an internship this summer. I've been a business development intern at a small company called Habitat Financial. And yeah, it handles managing royalties for labels, publishers, and distributors. So just getting my hands on that and just getting the experience as well as making the connections and working for this small company. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. And you know, obviously when we go home for summer and, you know, we're not in school, we're not around our friends that are playing all this music. How are you keeping that music in your life aside from, you know, writing and sitting down with your guitar and stuff like that?
I mean, obviously, like I sit down and like I'll just play guitar for a couple hours, try to write something, or sit down at the piano. One of the things that I've been trying to do a lot with music this summer is just try to really focus on creating demos rather than just writing down half a song, because I'll get into this habit of I'll get this idea and I'm like, okay, here's a verse, here's a pre-chorus, here's a chorus, and then I just leave it for like 5 like 6
Goes
months.
to the back burner.
Yeah, I'm sure you work on other songs in between that, so you're probably
absolutely
forgetting exactly what you're trying to think of.
Like I'll get through that and then I'll be like, oh, here's this other idea that I think could be really cool. And then I'll move on to that. So I've really been trying to work on just sitting down. And whenever I start writing a song, trying to get all the way to the end of it rather than just stopping halfway, which is really good. And sometimes it's not the end product that I want. Sometimes it's not perfect. But at the same time, at least I kind of follow through with the idea rather than just leaving it.
Yeah, it's keeping it original to how you really wanted it.
Yeah.
So you're working on that Habitat Financial, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So what are you learning from that as like, what can you take from that as a songwriter?
As a songwriter, it's not so much experience with songwriting that I'm getting. It's more so my position at Habitat is the business development intern, but I'm also working through the two owners of Habitat Financial also own a record label named Bonfire Records. So what I've been doing is I've been working kind of a bit of both on the Habitat, the more financial side of things, which is more working on marketing for the company, working on looking through spreadsheets and making sure that the royalties are going through the website, as well as just little tasks here and there that's just kind of like pushing the company forward. Whereas with Bonfire Records, I've been working more on distribution of singles, working on just kind of plugging in all the metadata into the system, and just trying to, as well as a lot of the marketing and PR, just trying to like get the name out there and make sure that people are consistently seeing both Habitat and Bonfire on social media.
So definitely a lot of the behind the scenes, the back end stuff.
Yeah.
That, you know,
absolutely.
You wouldn't think goes too much into because you're always playing, sitting at a guitar. And
Yeah, but like even the marketing, the PR, that's all stuff that ties into social medias,
Right.
with what
Yeah,
you do.
absolutely.
And it's tons of information that you can learn about that and possibly take into the real world. Even though social media is so complicated these days with traction and how you can really get viral, it's unpredictable. But
it's gamble, yeah.
yeah, it is a gamble with every post. So you have to watch how much time you put into it, if it's a waste or if you're doing it correctly. But at the end of the day, it's still good information to learn about how it actually does work and marketing in itself. But
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's dive a little bit into like the beginning of you, like how you kind of came to be and how you started into music. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and growing up in St. Louis.
Yeah, I think that whenever somebody asks like, "Oh, how did you start writing music?" or "What got you into this?" it's kind of an easy question to answer because music was just constantly around in my house, whether it be my dad playing the guitar, just me like as a baby hitting the strings as he plays the chords, or whether it be me and my brothers going to just like we would basically like pick where we're going to go out to eat based on where the live music was. Like we just constantly wanted to be around it as a family. And both my parents grew up listening to music. Like it was constantly around. And I think that when I was 4 or 5, my parents were just like, all right, we're signing you up for music lessons. Like you're going to learn the guitar, because I loved it. And I just wanted to be around it. I wanted to play. I wanted to just do all of it. So they signed me up for this place called Dave Simon's School of Rock. And it was this place where it was a bunch of kids there, and you could take guitar lessons, piano lessons, drum lessons, bass, anything. And what they do is they kind of pick what instrument the kids kind of gravitate towards, and then they make bands. So then by the age of 6, I was in a band with like 4 or 5 other guys playing. Like we would cover, I'm trying to think of some of the songs that we covered. We did Song 2 by Blur. We would do like Nirvana covers. We would do just like a lot of like rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like that was the focus. It was School of Rock and roll. Like it couldn't get any more towards Jack Black if you asked.
The foundations.
I love that stuff. There was something like that back home in Sarasota called Everyone Rocks. Mika, for those of you that don't know, Mika is my best friend. He plays guitar in a couple of the bands we manage.
He's in Keller's band too.
Yeah, lives with us. Mika and I did something like that called Everyone Rocks.
Yeah.
This was way after we've already known each other. We kind of did it together. But I really loved that dynamic of like learning how to work in a band with other musicians early on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I really think like even though we're immature and kids and stupid, right? When we're
To put it lightly.
12, 14 years old playing in these stupid bands, you still kind of retain that like, you have to work well with other musicians if you want to kind of make you sound the best you can,
Yeah.
Especially with people you really don't know. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
huge part of it.
And
Like
you're kind of just picked and placed in
Absolutely.
bands and stuff.
I mean,
go
that's
ahead.
what I gravitated towards, because I think right before that, for like maybe like 2-3 weeks when I was like 6 years old, my mom took me to like just take guitar lessons in a room with an instructor. And I was twiddling my fingers the whole time and I couldn't sit still. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to try to make like a G shape on the guitar. Like I want to play power chords and just
Rock
like,
out.
Yeah, rock out. Like that was what I loved. Like it was fun.
Yeah, I also feel like being surrounded by other people your age and in that same mentality
absolutely.
as you, like that's a huge part of it. Like I grew up, I did plays, musicals. I didn't really play instruments besides piano, but like being surrounded by people that I knew over time and over the years, but even new people I met, like that made me love it even more to know that there were other kids with the same passion as me, with the same ideas and like wants as me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I took piano lessons with a guy early on in my life. Like I was not a fan of it, or I even tried drums for a bit. I was better than Jake at a point, but
Sure.
it was not as fun just being by yourself. I mean, you had to learn somehow, but like being surrounded by other people, I guess is the point I'm trying to get across.
I mean,
Made it so much better and more fun. You know, what I mean? Especially as a kid, you want to go out and you want to play, you want to be immature, as Jake said, and being in that environment just really takes it to another level.
Absolutely.
Dude, I hated like brand practices up until like I joined the band with you guys, and like we started building that relationship with dynamic, because like not only was I enjoying the music we were playing, we were writing, and coming up with, it's that like I enjoyed making it with you guys, and you and Ryan and Mika and Daniel for a time. Like that's just like half of it. The first half is making the music, make sure everybody knows their parts. The second half is like make sure you're having fun with the people you're doing it with. You know.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, Jake plays drums in Keller's band here in Nashville. Ryan's the bassist. Mika plays guitar, and Daniel, who's formerly on the band, also played guitar. So for the people that don't know that, that's kind of the
you might
band
hear
that
some
came to be.
references.
Yeah, if you
now
throw it
and then.
around, you'll get used to the names. We'll have other people on this podcast who you'll get to know and get to love.
Mm-hmm.
But so Keller, back to your childhood a little bit, and so was guitar technically your first instrument that you learned?
I want to say yes. I started with guitar, and it was just power chords. It was just like Crazy Train, Ozzy Osbourne, just that kind of stuff. And then I kind of in the band that we would play in, like at Dave Simon's, we would just, if somebody wanted to play guitar, they would play guitar on a song. Then maybe the next song they wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I would play bass. Maybe I would sing and play guitar on one. Maybe I would play drums on one of the songs. It was just kind of giving everybody the opportunity to kind of pick and choose what they want to play. Yeah. But at the heart of it, everybody kind of had their bass instrument, where that's what the goal kind of was. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was kind of like, well, maybe I want to play piano on this song. Maybe I want to do like drums on this one. So I kind of gravitated between all of them. And then I want to say around 4th or 5th grade, I really sat down and I was just drawn in by the piano. I was like, I want to learn how to play. I had a little keyboard that was from my grandma on my dad's side that she just gave to me, and she was like, here you go, like you just here's a keyboard. And I brought it home, and I remember I couldn't read sheet music. I never learned how, because that's the one thing about Kid Rock Band is they don't teach you sheet music. They're just like, all right, A, B,
so it's like chord
C.
charts.
Yeah, it's just chord charts. Yeah. It's just the 1, 4, and 5, like that kind of stuff. But I really sat down, and I couldn't read the sheet music, so I wasn't like reading like the music books. But what I would do is I would just go to YouTube. And I'd be like, how to play. I think the first song I ever learned on piano was All of Me, John Legend. Like, I was like, I want to learn how to play that. Like, let me look up the YouTube
It was catchy
video.
when you were young. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was a great song.
All over the radio,
amazing
every
song.
single day.
Yeah, you hear it all the time.
Yeah. Right, like now I'm kind of like to the point where I'm never going to go out of my way and be like, I want to listen to this song just because I've listened to it so many times.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of songs.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, it's such a good song. And I was like, that kind of drew me into the piano. And then from there, I was like, okay, let me learn another song. Here's this one that I kind of want to learn. And then I kind of like taught myself how to play some chords. And then I slowly like started looking up like what a 7th chord is, and just just kind of teaching myself how to play it, and
going down the rabbit hole of music theory.
Yeah, exactly. But without touching a music theory book.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I just never looked at it. And then whenever I was at a band practice in, I want to say like 6th grade, I had this instructor, and there was like, I think like a couple guys weren't there on that specific day. So he was like, okay, here, like, I'm going to sit at a piano. You guys all turn around, and I'm going to play a note. And you guys got to tell me what it is. And then it would go down the line, and everybody would, like, say what they think it was. And sometimes, like, somebody would, like, get close or get it wrong. And in my head, I was like, oh, that's an A. Oh, that's a D sharp. Like, I thought this was just universal knowledge. And then he was like, oh, you may have perfect pitch. And I was like, what's that? So then I kind of learned more about that, and I was like, oh, let me try to really use this. So then I just kept trying to like listen to things and just play by ear. And then from there, I just kind of like took it and ran with it with the piano, because I was just like, I could just kind of like hear it and play it. And that was like my main instrument. So then I kind of put the guitar on the back burner. And then once I moved into Maddox 308 at Belmont, I brought a keyboard with me to kind of like record, but the guitar was more accessible because I was like, okay, I don't want to walk all the way across campus to go sit down and play piano. Like, I want to just play right here in my room. So then I just slowly started like trying to push myself out of my comfort zone with the guitar and working on that. But yeah, so I would say if I had to pick like a main instrument right now, I would say like, I'd probably say guitar, just because that's what I'm feeling today, but it honestly switches up from time to time.
Yeah, that's fair. So you kind of like didn't touch the guitar until college, or like you did, but not as much as you would have liked. So have you seen development in your skills, you think?
Yeah.
Since college?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like I learned chords, and I was able to like play things, and my best friend was guitar tabs, and so that I could sing and play whatever I wanted. But I think that sitting down and forcing myself to kind of learn how to play better guitar really helped. Like, I'm still not a great guitarist. Like, I tell these guys all the time, like whenever we're at band practice, like if you take everybody's individual skill in my band with their instrument or with any instrument, I am by far the least talented person in my band.
I would not say that.
No. I think
that's a stretch.
But at the same
Mika's
time,
worst.
yeah,
Worst
no,
guitarist I've
Mika's
ever heard.
terrible
Mika's
guitar.
terrible.
But
Screw you, Mika.
But no, like if we're looking at it like instrument wise, like I can play pretty much any instrument, but I just know enough to write, like find a cool chord progression, and I feel like my skills within the band kind of fall more under the hearing the arrangement and knowing kind of what flows.
I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Here comes the first debate on this.
Oh, I'm debating for his benefit, but I'm saying, like, you know, every time you play, like whether we're in rehearsal or, you know, yesterday we were sitting down, I was sitting at my computer, you were playing the guitar. While the point you're making is like, like Mika shreds like an 80s guitar on every single song. Like, you might not be able to do that, but you are so like articulate and creative with the instrument that it's not, you know, I don't want to say it makes up for the fact that you can't shred, because you can shred, but like
in a different way.
I mean, your next release, which we don't have, you know.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that later, but like, especially that one, that was definitely the first one. Like when we started playing that, like the accents in that, and you know, and the fact that it's always you coming to us with like, oh, this is I made up this guitar line, and you have these accents, this articulation, and that kind of progresses how the song goes, and like what I play on the drums. And, you know, Mika's electric guitar feel with your acoustic feel, and then Ryan's bass lines. You know what I mean? So give yourself a little bit more credit than you're giving yourself right now.
I mean, I don't know much about how a band works. I'm not in one, but I feel like there's different positions in the band that everyone holds, and I feel like, Keller, you're the leader, clearly, of your band, but you have good leadership skills that you bring to it. Like, you really show the passion that you want to do this, and that lets your band follow that. So even if they're not as in line with you or as in tune as you, if they see good leadership or if they see good focus on what you really want to do, they'll also want to follow that. And I feel like that's what has really reflected in the past year or two.
And that goes in again with, you know, working with the right people, having fun with the people that you're playing music with, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate the kind words.
Well, kind of while we're on the subject, you've had a couple releases this year.
Yeah.
Both of which are incredible.
Oh, I appreciate it.
First one was Lost from the World, and you know, as you were talking about with your piano playing, that one's definitely, you know, that's just piano and vocals and kind of letting yourself out there. Second one, Only 18, my personal favorite.
Great song.
Best song I've ever heard in my life. Walk us through when these songs started coming to fruition, and were they different when you started writing them from the recordings that are on Spotify and Apple Music? Like what changed, what improved?
Yeah. I'll talk about Lost from the World first, because that one I wrote that end of high school. I want to say like 2023, and I wrote that over the summer, and I think I had like gotten like, I went out on a date, and like I thought it went really well, but then like she was like, "Hey, I don't think this is working out."
Did you talk about soccer the whole time?
Surprisingly, no, I didn't.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That is a plausible option, though. But no, I was like, well, this sucks. I'm going to write a song that just kind of like encapsulates that feeling of just like, well, I'm like this is terrible. Like, I hate this. I want to be done with relationships. This sucks. I'm over it. And so I started by finding the chord progression to the chorus, because I was just kind of like messing around on the piano, and I was like, ooh, this could work with something that has like a big lift, big like cinematic feel to it. And I wrote the song, and I had like all the melodies down, and it was just piano, vocal, and then I just kind of like did what I usually did. I just put it on the back burner. And I was like, okay, this could be cool. Like, this is an idea. And then my family, my parents lived in Chicago whenever they were young, before they had me for a good couple of years. And they have two other families that they both have kids as well. And we would all go on like trips together and like see each other like once or twice a year. So we were on our yearly visit to Chicago over the summer, and the two dads, that it's my dad and then a guy named Chris and a guy named Brian, and they both write music. Chris went to Berkeley, and I was there, and it was just this afternoon, and we had already like had our like jam session the night before of just like playing covers. Like, I played a couple originals, and like they would play a couple originals, and like it was just fun. Everybody was just hanging out, and it was this afternoon that it was just kind of everybody was just kind of laying around. And I go to Chris, and I'm like, hey, like, do you want to, because he had a studio in his basement, a little recording setup, and I was like, hey, you want to go try to record something? He was like, yeah, absolutely, like, let's go down, let's set something up. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to record? And I was like, I have a couple ideas, because I had some other songs that I was like, oh, I want to release these. And then I was like, well, I just wrote this new piano one. It's kind of a piano ballad, and like, let me know what you think. So I played it, and he was like, let's just record that right now, just as is, like just piano vocal. And I was like, okay, cool. So I laid down the piano in, I think, like 1 or 2 takes, and he was like, yep, keep it. And I was like, oh, I don't really like this a little bit. And he was like, nope, keep the little imperfections in there. It's good. Just keep it. And I was like, okay. And then I did the vocals, and then we listened to it back, and like I'd taken a couple different takes on the vocals, did some harmonies, and listened back, and I was like, it's missing something. It sounds good, but it's missing something. And I was like, I want this like sound in the background or something filling the spaces. So then I got this idea. I was like, do you have a sound for like a vintage like vinyl like crackle? Like sound like it's from like an old 60s recording.
Yeah. Sure.
And he was like, yeah, here, let me try to do this. So then he put the sound over it, and I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. Like, I want to keep it like that.
Right.
And fast forward, I kept listening to the song, and I was like, okay, this is the demo. Let's like mix it in a little bit. Let's try to master it. And then the song stays like that for 1.5 years. And I'm like,
back on the back burner.
Yeah. And then I'm playing it for like my professors at school. I'm playing it for like you guys. I'm playing it for everybody. And I'm like, hey, what do you think? What could change? Like, what do you like? And everybody was like, oh, I like it. You could do this with it. I like it. You could do this with it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I just wouldn't do anything about it. And I completely blame myself for that. But then eventually I got to a point where I was like, I haven't released anything in over a year. Like, if I want my sound out there, I need to be releasing music.
Sure.
Right.
So I sent it to Ryan, and I was like, I want to release this. What do you think? Kid, do you want to work on mixing it with me? And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we started working on it, and eventually it just came to what it is now. And I was like, okay, it's time. I need to release it. And yeah, submitted it, and it's probably one of my favorite songs that I've ever written. Like, that at the core is what I started writing, piano ballads. And then the switch to only 18 with a full band and everything was a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a whole different vibe. I mean, Lost in the World is like a stab in the heart. The first time you listen to it, you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, all under Keller. But only 18 is like this giant production. It sounds incredible. I witnessed Keller starting that song out from college. Yeah. Him and I have been friends since we met day one of college, and
not even day one.
Not even day. Not even
summer
day
orientation.
One. Yeah, we had that Belmont summer orientation.
Yeah.
I see Keller. Guess what? Playing soccer. I don't know why I stopped to say hi, but it's turned into a great friendship over time.
If it wouldn't be for me playing soccer, we may not know each other.
No, this is probably when it started. So talk about only 18 a little bit. I mean, I was there kind of from the origin. But what kind of sparked you to make that song?
Yeah, I think that song started with, I found this cool chord progression, which is the opening of the song, and I just started like kind of messing around and playing with different like progressions, kind of messing with it, and then I just slowly started building it from the ground up. I wrote it about this girl that I know who I was wanting to get into a relationship with, but she was kind of like, she had been hurt. And it was at that point where I kind of tried to look at it from her perspective, or talk about somebody who would be in that position where they had been hurt, they had been in a bad relationship, and they were kind of in that moving on phase into that, maybe that second person who was going to be that next big relationship in their life. Right. And having that fear of getting into that. So I kind of started with like the opening line, she don't want to fall. Like that was like my big, like that's the idea. She doesn't want to fall. And then I tied it back in by making that the first line of the chorus as well, just to get that repetition, to get the point across. Right. And I kept writing, and I kept like tweaking things like bit by bit, and I came up with this idea that I was like, okay, I'm gonna write about this, but because I'm selfish, I want to make the song about me a little bit too. Yeah. So then I was like, she don't want to fall again, like she's only 18, young, wild, and free, quite like me. So then I was like, okay, I know you're going through this, but I'm going through it too. So why don't we just try to go through it together and try to figure this out and make it work, and not be afraid to take that next step?
Yeah, absolutely. How did the production go? I mean, that song was worked on.
That was a long time.
Over a year, it feels like. I mean, I remember the early days, the early dorms working on that song.
Well, I mean, it started with a voice memo of me playing it in Maddox, and I played it for I think I was either playing it for Ryan, or I was just had it, like, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make a recording of this. Yeah. So I turned on the recording, and I posted it on my social media, but it is probably the most like out of like, it's probably one of my top 3 most like valuable like voice recordings in my phone, because it's me at the beginning saying, all right, I'm going to try this. And then I play all the way through the first chorus, and it doesn't sound like it's the same song, but there's little like melodies that are different from the recording or something, that it shows that was the original idea.
Right.
And then I love because you can hear like the sync in the background, or you can hear like my ankles cracking in the background. Like, it's so raw. And at the very end, Ryan goes, I like that one. and then I was like, yeah. And then I stopped the recording and I was like, yeah, I'm playing around with this idea, this. And then eventually I was like, I want to get some studio time. I want to record this one. This would sound so cool because I taught it to the band. And I remember, Jake, even you were like, oh, this is a good one. Like, I want to do this. And we were playing a cover song or something, and you kept talking about like halftime and double time. And I was like, Jake, shut up.
Probably
no.
Everlong.
Yeah, it was probably Everlong. But we're playing like Only 18, and I was just like, okay, just keep that like 6/8 like rhythm going throughout the whole song. And then on that last chorus, we're in rehearsal, and you started doing like the double time, not even double time, but just like the bigger sound. And I knew,
Right.
and you were looking at me just trying to like piss me off or something. And I'm like, wait a minute, this actually sounds pretty good. And I was like, wait, keep doing that.
Sometimes I have good ideas.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But I think
Sometimes.
it's so funny how that like came to be is because you were just trying to like nag at me and just piss me off.
I remember doing that, but like as much as I love to piss you off and play Everlong at halftime and do that crap, doing that I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Not to make you mad, but like just to see how it would sound.
Yeah.
Because the song's pretty much the same the entire time.
Yeah.
With the exception of, you got
Little breaks
Mika's solo and
yeah,
everything. Yeah. And then right after solo, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's quite literally the best song ever made. After the solo, we died down. And it's just, guitars and vocals. So in my head, I'm like, that's kind of boring to go back to the...
It needs a big... Yeah.
Quiet, and then you're just kind of, well, that was a good song, but, it didn't leave me anything.
Yeah.
It's like going big like that.
That's like the fireworks.
Exactly.
At the end.
It's kind of unexpected too because that whole song is like that. And, the guitar solo, like, oh, okay, cool. That was a big moment of the song. Like, that was a great guitar solo. Mm-hmm. Then you come in with like that
soft ending.
Yeah. And then that explosion.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Do you feel like the song turned into more of a group effort in a way? Like, I know it was your song to begin
Absolutely.
with, and there are so many people that play in that song in the recording. Do you feel like you owe credit, or it's more of a group
absolutely.
project?
They all have writers' credits on that song because it wouldn't be what it is now without any of them, like any of you guys. Because I mean, I started the idea and I wrote the chords and the lyrics and everything, and like brought the idea. And I feel like we all just kind of like joined together on it and just took it and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just turned into something that, like, I knew that it was going to be, like, always at the end of our sets for our gigs. Because I was like, I want people to leave wanting to hear that song. Like, I want them to leave wanting to hear that at the next show or on Spotify or anywhere.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what the feedback I started getting. Like, I remember, Caleb, you telling me, you were like, dude, you got to release that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And like our other friends were like, oh, you should play Only 18 again. I like that one. And I was like, for me, whenever I started hearing that from other people, I was like, maybe I should release this one. Maybe I should record this one. So then we started recording it. And whenever we started mixing it and getting it ready to be released, I remember there was one of like the first like final mixes that Ryan sent me, and I remember listening to it, like I was like in the car, like driving to work or something, and I listened to it in my car speakers, and I'm just like sitting there, and I just catch myself just smiling, like I'm like just listening to it, just like grinning, and I'm like, damn, this is good. I like this.
Right.
I sometimes I always have a reaction when I write a song and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. I like this. But like with that one and that recording, I was like, damn, this is special. Like this is something
It's
that
the
like
one. Yeah.
I'm proud of.
Sure.
Like, I'm very proud of. But
I mean, we go to Belmont. There are singer-songwriters on literally everywhere you
every
go.
Every corner.
Out of like, at all the shows too, it's always fully Belmont bills. Like it's Belmont kids playing with Belmont kids playing with Belmont kids playing with Belmont kids. And like they are all trying to play their originals and show people what they work on. But like to me, one has never stood out as much as Only 18. Like it is so, unique in its own way.
It's personal. And like the whole point of a song is to tell a story, not just any story, but mostly your story. Those are the best songs. And I feel like that song really represents you. Like it's unique, it's powerful, and it tells a good story in a way.
100%.
Kind of going off of that, let's separate more from what you've done and more towards just back to personal questions. Do you have like a role model? Like who inspires you?
That is a good question. Because, let me think. Because I've obviously like...
Think of it more towards like a music.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like
lean
towards. I think that when it comes to writing music, I think that I have a lot of different inspirations, and like over the years it's changed and it's like developed to I'll hear somebody and then I'll like adapt to their style or like draw influences from here and there. But I think that at the core of what I wanted to write and what I started writing,
do not say Oasis.
I'm not gonna say Oasis. I didn't get into Oasis until like a little bit ago, and
until you dressed up as Liam Gallagher for Halloween.
Oh my god!
We can when we do the
put the picture up on the screen.
Yeah,
no,
right here. We're gonna put
or editing the
of
picture
Keller.
onto the screen.
I can define it right now. He's leaning over in a bar with that stupid ass wig on. We're gonna put it right here in my hand when we do this.
Yeah, I remember
edit.
walking out of my room showing Ryan that costume, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
Hey, it's John Lennon.
Yeah, that's what everybody kept saying.
Are you John Lennon? No,
Yeah.
I'm from Oasis.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the
back
role
to
model.
the
My
role
bad.
model.
My bad. Kind of derailed there.
I do like Noel Gallagher. He's a great songwriter, and taking less from like the assholeness of Liam, but I would say at the core of what it started, what my first like musical like writing influences were, it was Billy Joel and Elton John.
Yeah,
those were my big two. I was listening to your song. I was listening to She's Got Away. I was listening to like Vienna, and I was listening to those songs, and I was like, I want to write songs like that. Like I want to like write a piano ballad, and then sometimes just have it just my vocals, and then sometimes like have this big band behind me, like that's just like makes it sound powerful. And so that's what I was writing all throughout high school. I was sitting at the piano, and I was like, "Ooh, this could be cool. This could sound cool." But then it kind of changed as I got older, because I started listening to like different kinds of music and different genres. And I think that whenever I'm asked about influences, like Billy Joel and Elton John were always the big two. Then obviously like I had a huge Ed Sheeran phase, and I know that y'all are gonna laugh at me about that. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people they'll look at him and his music and his songs, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's a sellout pop artist that just does like basic 4-chord like songs," but he has one of the best like discographies that I've heard like in like out of all the artists I listen to, like, and it's so songwriter without leaning towards like the more country folk songwriter. And I think that that's what kind of drew me in, is it was so unique for like what was being released in 2015, 2016.
Right.
And like I would either be listening to like that, or I would be listening to like 70s, 80s rock or something like that. And that was like my modern like role model, who I was like, I want to be like that. I want to write songs like that. Like I'll play guitar and like sing love songs and try to make like $1 million off of it. but like I think that he was one of the big ones. And then now that I've kind of started playing and writing towards what I can hear us as a band play, I've started leaning more towards, I love Phineas. He is so talented, such a great producer.
He's underrated in my opinion.
He's so good. I saw him back in April while I was in London, and he was he was so good. Like, he was playing piano, he was playing guitar, like, he's catchy songs. Like, I wouldn't say he has, like, the best voice that I've ever heard. Like, he's not somebody that you're like, oh my God, his voice is just amazing. But it's how he writes his songs. He writes them so well for himself that it just sounds so good.
Yeah.
So I would say him. I love Hosier, which that one is an example of like, damn, his voice is like, he can sing.
Yeah.
But and then I've been trying to lean into more of the like indie pop, indie rock, Backseat Lovers, as well as a lot of the Arctic Monkeys. Like Arctic Monkeys are probably my top band that I'm listening to right now.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have any like family who inspired you in music?
Yeah, my dad growing up always had a guitar. My uncle, who passed away almost 2 years ago, he was a songwriter, and he was definitely one of my biggest influences. I would say growing up, my dad's side of the family, unfortunately, my dad's the only one living in his family now, but he grew up in a household that was surrounded by music. I mean, his mom was a hairdresser and a stylist, so he would wake up on Saturday, Sunday mornings, and there would be a record player playing in the house, and he'd be listening to like 70s Motown, 60s Motown, and he'd just be growing up listening to that. And he was the oldest of three brothers, and middle brother, my Uncle Dana, he was a songwriter. He just started writing whenever he was younger and just took it and ran with it. Like, he was very country folk Americana, and he would write like these amazing songs. And I kick myself whenever I think about it, because I'm only now really listening to all of his like songs and like really listening to them, where as whenever I was little, we would just go to a dive bar that he was playing at, and like I would just be like, oh, there's Uncle Dana playing some music. But it sucks that like now that he's gone, I'm really now leaning into it, and I'm like shit, like he was a really good writer. Like, I'll listen to something and I'm like how do you come up with that? Because it's very unique. And one of my biggest like motivations and goals as a songwriter is to basically now promote his music, because my dad owns all of his catalog and all of his music, and he kind of talked to me a little bit after he passed away, and he was like, he was so afraid and never wanted to push his music out. He never did this, like the dirty work on social media or on like just promoting himself and his brand. Like, he just wrote music. And one of the biggest things that he told me was like, you as a songwriter can kind of take his legacy and like it's yours. Like, if you see somebody, like, he's always like, if you see somebody at Belmont that fits this vibe and could sound good, tell him like, hey, I have these songs, like I own them, like I own the publishing, I own the masters, I own everything. Do you want to record them? And kind of take it and give it that second life to kind of push it forward. Sure. But yeah, no, I would say that he was definitely a huge influence for me. And yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up here soon. We can talk about another 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll call it.
Sounds
but
good.
Let's get some follow-up questions going. The last fun one. So, Keller, who do you think your favorite artist is now? I know you kind of talked about Phineas and.
I hate that question because I'm always like.
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
Himself.
No, I'm not. Well, I'll answer it in two ways. I'll be like, this is who I'm like listening to right now constantly. I'm constantly listening to Arctic Monkeys. I'll say that again. I'm listening to their stuff a lot. I'm listening to a lot of Oasis. awesome music.
One good song.
And I think that
I hope you're not talking about Wonderwall.
I'm not.
no,
I'm not.
He's talking about "Don't Look Back in
There
Anger,"
you
which
go.
is a 10 out of 10 song.
Wonderwall
and if you
sucks.
disagree,
Wonderwall
you can argue
sucks.
with me on it. But I think that for me, I don't listen to music artist by artist as much anymore, just because it's turned into we have such a big playlist culture now, especially with
Right.
Spotify. So it's more so like these are my top songs that I'm listening to. But I would say a lot of that, like, indie rock is what I'm listening to, and something that I don't usually like play or like as an artist or like talk about as much whenever it comes to influences. I'm a huge R&B and hip hop person. Like, I love like a lot of like the new like hip hop that's coming out, and I'd say, I mean, it's very basic answer, but Travis Scott. And I know that.
Did you watch the documentary about
Yeah,
him?
yeah, the Astro World. Yeah, that was a
Oy vey.
great documentary.
Yeah, great
But
Great documentary. Bad day.
Bad event.
yeah,
Bad event.
yeah, yeah.
Jake,
But
what do you listen to, Jake?
Metal.
Okay.
I have my metal playlist. I have my like groovy and more chill playlist.
Yeah.
A pop punk every single day
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
say,
if you see this is a good representation
Yeah.
on my walls here of what I listen to. But,
I will say one thing that I've gotten into a lot recently is more country music.
So have I. Which Keller, you knew me when I came to college. I did not like country music that much. There was like very.
I
few.
feel like Nashville kind of changes you.
Nashville
a little bit
changes you.
because I didn't like it that much. It didn't change Ryan. Ryan still doesn't like country music. But
Ryan and I are on the same page then.
Yeah.
Because I still can't
But
stand it.
I would say that one of my favorite artists that, like, country artists right now, but also just artists in general that I can't stop listening to, and I saw him back in May, is Wyatt Flores. He's a phenomenal country artist. He is, I want to say, like 23, 24, and he's an amazing writer. He's got a great sound, and it's not that pop bro country that you're hearing like on Broadway and stuff. It's that acoustic guitar, like talking about where he's from, growing up, like all that stuff. And I would say that him and I would say him and Evan Honer are two that are just phenomenal artists, and more of that country folk vibe, which is different, which is something that I sometimes write, but I kind of lean more towards the like indie rock, indie pop with you guys, just because it's more of like our style. But it's definitely a genre, especially with my uncle's influence as well. Like, it's definitely a genre that I love, and in a different way.
Yeah,
the
sure.
others.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs that you have and the songs that have been released and are going to be released are definitely more on like the, I guess, moody side.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the lyrics, but like the sound. It's the piano and guitar
Atmosphere.
heavy, 6/8. Getting really into it. What about some R&B hip hop stuff? And I'm asking this question because the stuff that you have showed me needs to be fully fledged out and recorded and put out and performed because it is so good.
Well, I appreciate it. First is, I mean, it's something that, it's a genre and it's a style that I've done and I have a lot of music of. Like, just speaking about genre in general, like, I have like my indie rock, indie pop stuff that like kind of like Only 18. I have like the softer ballads like Lost from the World. Then I have a lot of R&B, more production-based things. Like, one of my favorite, like, 10 out of 10 albums is Alone at Prom by Tory Lanez. And it's that 80s new wave sound that's just so cool. And I really want to, like, make more stuff like that.
Right.
But it's also very different from the other things that...
It's very production heavy,
Which is very different than what we play at shows and, like, what we rehearse on a like and what I play on a daily basis. But I would say that a lot of that stuff is something that I definitely want to showcase. And obviously, speaking to my two managers as well, Yeah.
Showcase
Oh,
that.
don't worry. We'll plug that too here in a second.
You'll get it in a bit.
But I think that that's something that I definitely want to talk to you guys about is doing like an R&B styled show somewhere here. And I
Yeah.
think that'd be so
That'd be
cool.
awesome.
And you can get your little drum pad, and we can load up all the sounds on
I gotta
there.
order it.
Yeah, but that would be so much fun. Like, cause that's just a genre, especially leaning into the R&B that kind of has that Motown roots. Like that sound is just so cool.
Kind of mixes old with new.
Oh my god, yeah, that's some of my favorite music, and that's what I listened to a lot growing up. Like that old, like Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, like the Commodores, like.
Yep.
And I know that Caleb
Yep.
gets me on this.
Yep.
Like that style of music
mine,
is just. I feel like the best word to describe it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Pure.
so
It's easy
Yeah,
listening, and it's
yeah.
so good at the same time.
Yeah.
Keller, as much as we'd love to continue talking, we're kind of hitting our time here. So we'll ask like one more thing, unless Jake, do you got anything that you want to ask?
No.
Keller, give us a little sneak peek. What are you working on? Give us
So
something.
I'll talk a little bit about it without giving too much away because I do have some surprises. But I think that one of the big things that one of my big goals for the next, let's talk about the next like year. One of my big goals is to have releases almost every month. And because I have only the third one out of this next series of releases coming out, I don't think that a trend has been noticed, but I'll announce it here. I'm starting a countdown. So Lost from the World was dropped on May 10th, Only 18, June 9th. My next single, Awake, is getting dropped August 8th.
Boom.
The next one will be on the 7th, 6th, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And after that, who knows? There may be
Something going on.
Yeah, something happening.
Something cool.
Might
Yeah.
be happening. Well,
Yeah.
well, thanks, Keller, for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you
coming
guys
down
so
to
much for
Nashville.
having me.
Yeah, of course.
Just one more thing.
Okay.
You know, going through the timeline, November's a big month. Tell us what you got going on in November.
So my amazing management team has set up a showcase for all of their SideStage artists. It is going to be at the Exit Inn, which is one of the coolest venues in Nashville.
If you're watching the video, the poster is right
behind
above
Jake.
me.
Right
You got
up
it.
there.
Beautiful.
Look at that bottom left.
There's Keller.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to be performing at the Exit Inn on Saturday, November 15th. I guarantee the ticket link will be in the bio of this podcast.
It'll be in the bio of this
Yeah.
podcast. You'll find it everywhere. If you go to SideStage Management, you can find the link in our bio to buy your tickets early. We're hoping to sell out, so get them early while you can.
On our
We're gonna pack
website,
the
too,
house.
on Exit Inn's website.
Yeah.
Go follow us
Everywhere.
everywhere. You know,
will
go
find
follow
it.
Keller everywhere.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get your ticket before they sell out.
It is going to be an
Get there
amazing
early.
show. We already started working on the set list. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be the
It-
show of the year in
It's going
Nashville.
to be the show of the year.
So yeah, you can find Keller on all social medias. Keller Anderson. Find him on Keller on Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in our stuff, check us out at sidestagemanagement.com, MGMT, and you can find us on all social media as well. Keller, thanks for coming out, and
Yeah.
we'll
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
You guys,
That was awesome.
you guys are the best.
we'll see you next time.